Amelia Bedelia shapes up Chapter 6. Get the sense back. Amelia Bedelia went downstairs to the family room. Her father was snug as a bug in his recliner. He was eating chips and dip and watching football. Amelia Bedelia sat on the footstool. She did her best to look interested in the game, which was just beginning. Football had always baffled her, but her dad loved it, so she was open to giving it another try. "Why are the guys dressed like a zebra?" she asked, pointing at the man in the black and white striped shirt. "That's the ref." "The referee," said her father. "He makes sure the players follow the rules. See, he just flipped a quarter to decide which team will kick the ball to the other team." "Who are those other guys on the field with him? The ones wearing numbers?" asked Amelia Bedelia. "Their quarterback," said her dad. "Did Zebra Guy give them back their quarter?" asked Amelia Bedelia. "No," said her father. "Each team tries to get the other team's quarterback." Amelia Bedelia was amazed. "Do you mean those guys knock into each other just trying to get a quarterback?" Her dad laughed. "Those guys get paid millions of dollars to tackle one another," he said. "That's a lot of quarters," said Amelia Bedelia, dipping a chip into the dip. Once the game began, Amelia Bedelia's father acted as though he was playing too. He yelled at the TV, telling the players where to run, when to pass, and how to tackle. He spent every minute cheering and booing and even jumping in the air and grabbing his hair. "Maybe you ought to play football instead of golf, Dad," says Amelia Bedelia. Her father was not listening. "Uh-oh," he said. "Our quarterback is behind the 8 ball. Gosh, thought Amelia Bedelia, even the ball has a number. No wonder she was clueless when it came to football. It was all about math. There were scores and penalties and measurements involved. Football players were covered in numbers. The same players were even fractions. She could hear Miss Robinson now. "If your quarterback has the number 12 on his uniform and you divide that by 4, what number is he really? If a halfback has the number 20 on his uniform, is he really a 10 or a 5? Amelia Bedelia discovered that the game itself was divided into quarters. At halftime, she had her dad watch a band marching around the field in fancy formation. Worse still, the announcement kept talking about numbers, called statistics, measuring how those teams were going to compare to other teams. And past games, numbers kept pouring off the screen, following out of the speakers, flooding the family room with the tidal wave of math that left her floating on her footstool in a sea of atomic. Thank goodness for a yummy chips and dip. Then Amelia Bedelia heard a sound that was music to her ears. Zzz. Her dad had fallen asleep. She gently slid the remote out of his hand. She lowered the volume so she wouldn't wake him up while he was changing the channel to something good. Amelia Bedelia found a nature show about a troop of gorillas. They were fighting over a coconut. Silverback took it away from the other and ran off with it. Some zebras were gazing in background. It looked like a football game, without any numbers. Just then her dad snorted and opened his eyes groggily. His glasses fell off. "What the score?" he asked, squinting at the screen. 21-14, said Amelia Bedelia, remembering the score of the football game before she switched the channel. "Who's ahead?" he asked. "The team with 21 points, she said. "That's right," said her dad, rolling over and resuming his nap. "That's how football works." Zzz. Amelia Bedelia couldn't blame him. This weekend had worn her out too. She couldn't wait to get back to school and away from sports for a while.